Hi there, it's Robin Norgren, your gifted learner, back with my book review on what great teachers do differently. It says 17 things that matter most. So I have been going through, it's not a hard read, maybe took about 2 hours off and on over the last couple weeks to get through, and it is very, very practical, which I really love. So the two I wanted to look at today is if you say something, mean it. Ooh, that's a big one. And prevention versus revenge. So what I love is that it's very straightforward. So the idea of you say something, mean it, right? And aren't we sometimes guilty of this as teachers, where you're giving them chances and they didn't really mean it, and maybe they didn't hear you, and maybe they've had a rough morning, and all of those things, and all those things can be true, right? We agree those things can be true, but here is the problem. Yeah, your word just keeps getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And I can say this as a teacher of kindergartners. You think that you are just being so kind hearted, and all they're doing is the constant, if you take an inch, they give a mile. And then you wonder why they are doing it. Well, you're allowing them to do it. Here, this is one of the comments on page 21 of this book. This time I really mean it. Following through is important. A parent who announces you're grounded for a month, but then makes exceptions for a birthday party or the prom has lost credibility. So is a business owner who threatens, do that again and you're fired, but never actually fires anyone. Ironically, actually firing an incompetent employee would then seem unfair, like changing the rules in the middle of a game. Great teachers focus on the behavior they expect of their students, not on the consequences for misbehavior. It is so much stronger to say in a quiet tone, when you're not listening, you take away from your learning, than to snap, if you keep talking and fooling around, you'll have twice as many problems for homework tonight. All right. I can honestly say that for me, and I've mentioned before, I took over this class mid-year, teacher left abruptly, and so I have been giving so many chances. I have been giving allowances for things, because they're still maybe they're sad about their teacher and they don't know how to process it, and it's not really behavior things, they just can't seem to keep their desk clean, they can't seem to keep their things in their desk, they can't seem to keep their pencil inside their desk, they can't seem to not bite the pencil eraser off their pencil, and I could go on and on. It's like 100 little things that don't seem like behavior. No, they're not bullying. No, they're not punching someone in the face. No, they're not being malicious necessarily. But all of these things start to grind you down. Am I right? Grind you down. When it's just an expectation of excellence and accountability. And if you stay within the confines of is this excellent? Are you being held accountable for how you're handling your materials, how you're handling your desk, how you're handling sitting in your chair? Should you be swallowing your shirt sleeve whole when you have some sort of oral fixation? None of these things lend themselves to what we say we uphold as a class, right? Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that one. When you say it, you mean it. I'm telling you, it's been a really hard month. This is our month of accountability, and I really put the parents on notice because we're at week number 27, and I've really taken it to heart that part of this problem is because of me. Because I gave way too many chances. I gave so many excuses for the behavior. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. All right, prevention versus revenge, another beautiful one. When a student misbehaves. When a student misbehaves, the great teacher has one goal: to keep that behavior from happening again. The least effective teacher often has a different goal: revenge. Effective teachers want to prevent misbehavior, whereas ineffective teachers focus on punishing a child after he or she misbehaves. If a child does not bring a pencil to class, they want their child to feel bad about it and choose to behave better next time as a result. They focus on the penalty, the punishment, the past. Think about the parents we work with. Some parents consistently look to the future and wonder what we can do differently so that their child would be more successful. Other parents consistently focus on the past and talk about last year's teacher or the experience the child's older sibling went through in another setting. Some parents even harp on what happened when they themselves were in school. Which parents would you rather work with? As educators, we must focus on what we have the ability to influence. We all know we can't change what has already happened. What's the point of directing our energy there? Let's work instead on preventing the misbehavior from happening again. Okay. If you've seen my other series on can you really be a change agent in the school, you know that I have just recently been through this situation. And the hard reality of not having parent buy-in is a real thing, right? And so I took the weekend to cry it out. I mean, yes, a lot of tears to cry it out. But also to go, okay, what can I control? What can I control? I can control that when a behavior happens, I directly engage that behavior in that moment rather than sending the email home, having the conversation. Parents are going to have the conversation or not have the conversation or craft a long email to explain to me why that really did not happen the way I thought it happened, right? So I've come up with a new idea. And the idea is I used to have this, I guess you'd call it, reward system called Mystery Person of the Day. And three people would be picked randomly. And it was just a matter of me watching them throughout the day. No one knew who they were. And then I would reward those at the end of the day if their behavior was showing leadership and integrity and excellence and service and accountability, right? So they could mess up as long as they held themselves accountable and redirected their behavior, right? So what I tried today, we'll see, I'll keep you posted on what's working, is I now have it as mystery partners because everyone has a partner. Everybody has a team member. And what I've decided to do is they have to hold each other accountable as opposed to me holding each one of them individually accountable. So if you want your team to be the mystery person, for example, and you are picked for the day. So I pick 3 teams a day. If your team has been working together, and even, again, not about perfection, it's about if you get off track, can you be redirected quickly? Can you figure out for yourself what you should be doing? Each one of you will get something from the treasure box. Now, same thing goes if one of you does not make it, neither one of you makes it. Yes, I call it you are your brother's keeper. Because this is what I said. I said, guess what happens when the principal or the assistant principal comes into our classroom and just does a walkthrough and you are not behaving? Guess who gets in trouble? Not you, me. I am held responsible for 24 students in the classroom and what they're doing at any given moment. So guess what? You get to practice that. You get to be held responsible for your partner. I know. I will let you know how that goes. I will do a series on that for sure. But anyway, those are the 2 that I have looked at today about 2 more components about what great teachers do differently. There is another video for the first 2 that I went over. I will run through all 17, so make sure and stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe if you are interested in learning more about this book. And leave down in the comments if you have any sort of thoughts about these 2 points, or if there are other ones that you really resonate with. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.